Okay, so your seeds have officially germinated, but what if I told you that your yield and the performance of the plant is heavily dependent on the next 3 to 4 weeks? For example, things like burr or blossom end rot are exacerbated and actually made right now over later on or in the future of the plant's life. So today's video, we're going to go over 6 things you need to do after seeds have germinated before they really get into heavy duty vegetation, growth stage, and flowering stage prior to you planting them outdoors. If you don't know who I am, hi, hello, my name is Ashley. I have a bachelor's of science in soil science. I like to take said science, apply it to all things plants. And in this case, obviously, we're talking about some plant science, which has a lot to do with soil science, shockingly enough, when it comes to our seedlings. So our seedlings are currently doing this really weird switch. They're switching from seed energy to root energy. And this entire process of switching over and then building a root system takes between 2 to 3 weeks. And this does truthfully set up your entire season for success or for failure. We're going to get the really easy ones out of the way first before we get into some of the more intense concepts that are a little bit more in depth. So number 1, obviously, is lighting. We want to make sure our lighting is at the right height and at the correct density for the correct duration. So duration is between 14 to 16 hours. We want to try to match that with our outdoor ambient lighting. So if we have lights coming in through windows, if we commonly have lights on indoors, we want to make sure our grow lights are matching up with that, so we don't end up with phototropism where the plant is leaning each or other way. So if your seeds are kind of tipping down or your leaves are kind of tucking in, this is a sign that the light is too close. If they are leaning upwards or trying to grab upwards, that is the sign that the light is too weak. If they are leaning towards a light, and that means particularly a window or to a light indoors, it means that your light is not strong enough at all above your plant, meaning you need to lower it or increase that intensity. The next one is airflow. I did an entire video just on fans. So if you want to get into the really in-depth conversation on that, I highly suggest you check out that video. But ultimately speaking, plants grow better when they're under a little bit of stress. Now, we often think of airflow or wind movement as stronger stems due to thigomorphism, which is essentially the plant kind of moving around a lot, causing a thicker stem. That's actually not the case and not the only reason for why plants require this airflow. But regardless of all that, I'm going to let you check out that video that goes into a lot of depth. The question becomes, when it comes to seedling emergence, when do we add that fan to the entire seed starting setup? And the answer to that is within 2 to 3 days of seedling emergence. Yes, it seems really soon, but it's necessary. Next up, we have watering. So water can come in many different shapes and sizes. Number 1, we can bottom water. Bottom watering is great in a lot of instances, but it can also cause excessive levels of moisture, which can result in the seeds rotting, the roots rotting, or a lot of fungal formation or algae formation on the soil surface. Now, this is fine if you've got a plant that's off like a rocket, like a squash or a watermelon, that has really big cotyledons, a very large stem, and it's just going to grow very aggressively. Then it doesn't really matter if we bottom water. But if we have something smaller and more sensitive, for example, like thyme, oregano, a smaller seedling of any sort, then bottom watering combined with that algae or that mold factor can actually be incredibly detrimental, which is where something like a mister would come in. A mister is very simply a mister that you're going to mist the tops of the plants with rather than bottom watering. It's going to prevent against that fungal growth, that algae, but also protect the roots and those little baby cotyledons from being absolutely pelted with overhead watering, which can do just as much damage as bottom watering and mold can. So misters are going to be your best friend for your smaller seedlings. I personally find that you can use these for an extended period of time, even with things like tomatoes and peppers. Next up is fertilizer. This is where the conversation gets a little bit more intense. So people think once everything's up and about, it's time to fertilize. But this rushing of fertilizer actually is what causes an immense amount of issues. Seedlings have a lot of energy stored within the seeds themselves. This can lead to burning of the roots and ultimately the plant and a death of the plant or very poor or stunted root emergence or development. You want to time this for the first true leaves at an absolute maximum is when you want to go in with this. And that usually comes in between 5 to 10 days. Now, if you want to get in there with the fertilizer, when you do see those first leaves emerge, I want you to go in with a quarter strength fertilizer. So this means a quarter of what you normally would feed a plant for an indoor plant setting, which is pretty minute, arguably nothing, and probably should be skipped altogether. But if you're really itching for it, then a quarter is all you need. After about 2 to 3 weeks, you can increase that to about half a dosage. A full strength potion should not be added until that plant is bumped up outside of that smaller seed cell into its larger seed cell, which actually leads me into my next point, bumping up of your seeds. Now, I'm actually going to do a whole separate video just on this. So if you want to learn more on bumping up your seeds, what size container to put them into, what kind of potting soil you should be using, should you be using a root trainer pot, for example, or a regular pot, etc. and so forth, really intense science on that, then I heavily encourage you to hit that subscribe button. It is the free, it is the simple, it is the kind thing to do for the channel. It is monumentally helpful to me and the channel, but you are not subscribed. So it would mean the world if you could subscribe to me, a real human being. See, I can hold 3 fingers in front of my face just fine, because that is a huge rock in my world right now, is actually getting subscribers and helping the channel grow. But all that aside, you want to transplant between 10 and 20 days after emergence. Now, the benefit to bumping up is that it actually helps to encourage more branching of the roots, and it helps for root expansion. Now, you can bump up more than once, but you absolutely want to bump up a minimum of once because of that factor or that stress helping develop a stronger plant. I don't want you to rush this. However, the whole root bound factor of why you bump up is actually not as important as what people think it is. It's very unlikely in these smaller seed cells, and it takes a lot longer than 10 to 20 days for that to happen. So there's literally no rush. Next up is actually the temperature. So I've talked about this a lot in many different videos, but temperature differential, the difference between night times and daytime temps. Now, I don't want to get into too much science about what that means or how that works right now. And if you want to learn more, go again, check out my videos on that. But I will say that an ideal temperature is somewhere between 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. And the reason for that is, and the reason I say that is because oftentimes people are starting their seedlings in a cooler greenhouse, maybe in a garage near a very drafty, cool window. Maybe they have it near a door that's constantly opening and shutting. And all of these little disruptions or these decreases in temperature can and will cause stunted growth for both the upper biomass, the lower biomass, nutrient uptake, etc., and so forth. So if we can maintain and hold at that 18 to 24 day and night, it'll be immensely important. Now, obviously, the daytime temps can get a little bit warmer, closer to 24, and the nighttime temps can get a little bit cooler, closer to 18. But regardless, we want to stay in that wheelhouse. Now, if you want to know the 25 tips on how to save thousands of dollars when it comes to seed starting and all of the mistakes I've made over the years, that's literally my camera telling me to show, or my plant room telling me it's nighttime, it's bedtime at this point. Anyways, I digress. That video right there, that's what Google says to watch because they're watching you. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.